It is 6:17. Hold on to your pants.
It's Crisis at a Glance.
Good morning. The Trump trade war announcement was even more aggressive than expected. It started with a 10% across-the-board tariff, but added steep additional tariffs to countries the president said were harming America more with their own long-standing tariffs. Here are some examples. 20% added to tariffs on the European Union, Korea 25%, India 27%, Taiwan 32%, Vietnam 46%, China 54%. That's the previous 20% plus the new stuff. The new tariffs passed over Canada and Mexico. Russia was spared from new tariffs. No separate pharmaceutical tariffs were announced, but the president already told us that was coming later. Americans already pay significantly more for prescription drugs than any other country. Tariffs are paid as goods cross the border at 328 official points of entry, including seaports, airports, and road crossings. And that's Crisis at a Glance. 6:18 now, Guy and Jelani at the First Alert Desk.